Hello from Barista Course Hamburg. Today we're not in our studio setting, but up here in one of our training rooms. And today we have a visitor,
Sascha Hardt
from ECM. And Sascha brought us something, namely
the ECM Exacto grinder.
It's coming onto the market soon, or rather the first ones are being delivered now. Or rather, by the time we show the film, the first ones will probably have been delivered. And you're introducing it to us today because we've already received many inquiries, especially in comparison to Malkonik and Fiorenzato, of course. Those were the first grinders on the market, and then Eureka came along too. And now you're finally coming onto the market with a GBW. We've all been waiting for that. We already saw it at the host. You presented it last year. It was supposed to come in the first quarter.
As is always the case, everything gets delayed because you still want to improve things a bit and want to bring a perfect product to the market.
Exactly. But that means now when you see this, the first ones are already available in stores and can be ordered. What price category are we in?
We're at 1,095 euros here.
So we're actually in the same range as the others, right?
I think we're positioned quite well there, yes.
You're right in the middle. It's basically the same. Well, then show us what you can do with it.
Yes, well, what makes this grinder particularly special? One of the main features of the grinder is, of course, the GBW function, which is the weighing function on the grinder itself, which has the great advantage in everyday use that I'm always reproducible. That means I always have the weight in the portafilter that I've set, which is, of course, for the consumer, a huge advantage in everyday life. The grinder can be operated via the touch display. I have a small gear wheel down here, which takes me to the menu settings, where I can basically set the grinder to dose by grams or seconds.
Why did you include the seconds? It's not just you. The other grinders generally have that. I don't know about the Fiorenzato. Does it have seconds too? I think so, right?
I don't know. It has a manual function.
Yes.
Exactly.
But you have both in there now.
Correct, exactly. We have both in there. The reason for this is simply as follows. We want to offer the customer the option of both weight and seconds. The seconds in the sense that should the load cell fail for any reason, I still have the option here to continue operating the grinder via the seconds.
Good example. You have a wobbly table like we do. So if it doesn't work the first time, we haven't tried it yet, this is the first shot, so to speak. That means load cells are very sensitive with all these GBW grinders. If necessary, if you always put it somewhere else, then just let it run by the second.
Exactly, that's also possible then, right? Another function we see here now is portafilter detection, the setting of the portafilters. Meaning I can save a total of 3 portafilters here in the grinder. The grinder handles the whole thing via weight. That means it weighs how heavy the portafilter is and can then grind the stored portion into the portafilter accordingly. For that, you really have to teach the portafilter once, hang the portafilter in, and then accordingly to a portion.
Let's just do that, shall we?
I'll clear the cache once.
Who knows which one was on there?
Then I would dry it once because...
Yes, true.
Otherwise we'll naturally have a bit of a difference in there. Then we hang the portafilter in and then see up here on the display that it's now showing us the weight of the portafilter. Since this is a double portafilter, I would now also program it for the double. For that I just press on it and see that now below the portion the same weight is clearly shown as up here.
That's a small green ring, is that right?
Exactly right. The small green ring also shows again that a portafilter is stored here accordingly. When I take the portafilter out, you can see up here again that it goes to 0 accordingly.
Okay, yes, exactly.
I'll hang the portafilter back in.
Now I can make it easier from my position. That's obviously quite practical. That means if you work with 2 portafilters, which I also do at home, it's of course great if you have a portafilter detection. I think it's called that.
Exactly, right, exactly.
One quick question beforehand. It doesn't have the typical adjustment wheel of the usual ECM grinders.
Right.
I don't have this gear wheel up here, but I have a small adjustment wheel down here.
Exactly.
Nice and solid. So how does the whole thing work? Does it work electronically now or manually? How do I adjust the grind size?
So we have a mechanical adjustment here now. That means we have a deflection shaft that moves the entire motor up and down. The motor swings freely in the housing. Because of that, it's also relatively quiet, you really have to say, compared to other grinders on the market. It has a 1400 watt motor, so it's really powerful there too, which is of course also helpful regarding the grinding time. And because of this free swinging, it's relatively quiet.
Is that really measured by distance, or is it programmed in once, so to speak?
That's a scale we've actually stored away, which via the rotations on the adjustment wheel passes that onto the electronics accordingly. Okay. One grind size adjustment step corresponds to about 2.5 microns.
That's not much. That's nice. Let me try that.
Exactly. The result is that we can really adjust it very, very finely and very, very precisely here.
Yes, and above all, something nice. As soon as I touch it, it doesn't move immediately, but I have a bit of travel here. That means I don't overshoot so quickly, but can really do it quite finely. Very nice.
Exactly. I'll go back to 25 here now because we just said that in case we want to drink an espresso in a moment.
We want to drink that. Then, very briefly, since we're already on grind size adjustment, what kind of grinding burrs are installed?
We have 64 millimeter grinding burrs installed here. From one of our suppliers who specializes in producing grinding burrs for us. We've had very, very good experiences with this supplier and therefore we've stayed loyal to them.
Do we have all-purpose?
You have to say we sell the grinder as an espresso grinder. Therefore, it's also mainly specialized
for espresso. Very nice.
But I'll continue here in the menu again. Briefly back to the portafilter setup. We have 3 portafilters that we can program in. We thought a single, a double, and the third one variable, maybe as a bottomless portafilter. Or maybe someone will put a small bowl under it for whatever. We have a counter that we can reset. This is the counter for, let's say, personal use. So you can see for 1 kilo of coffee, how many portions of what I've ground. Just to get an idea for yourself of how much you actually get out of a kilo, right? Then we have a total counter that cannot be reset. That's simply to monitor the longevity of the grinding discs to see if I might need to change them at some point.
What do you estimate? How many kilos can you grind with it?
I'd say 500 kilos. I don't see any problem there.
That's not 500 kilos is a lot. In general, that's standard, but okay.
Yeah.
You've had it for half a year now, you told me.
Exactly. Well, not this one, but the prototype before it. I had that for half a year and I must say I was totally thrilled.
Nice.
Then we have the LED settings here. We've installed more LEDs here below the discharge nozzle. I can set these in 3 different levels. To off, meaning they're always off. To grind means they only turn on when the grinder is grinding. Or to always on, then they're just always on. Please don't be surprised if you can't see much right now because we've set up quite a lot of lighting here. That means it's actually quite bright here in the room. We're usually dressed in black, so we have to do that. Maybe you can't see it that well, but it's still clear. And then we have the scale calibration again. I actually have the convenient option to tear the grinder, bringing it back to the 0 point afterwards if I need to. Basically, the grinder automatically tears itself to 0 every time it's switched on. The reason for this is as follows. If there's any dirt on the fork, old coffee grounds or whatever, the grinder calibrates this contamination when it's switched on. In other words, that's then its new 0 point. Yes. Otherwise, we'd have the problem that the portafilter recognition wouldn't work. Can you adjust it, so to speak? Can you somehow enter, okay, you have a bit of tolerance in the portafilter. We basically have a certain tolerance stored, but I can't program it. Okay, exactly. I think it's 1 to 2 grams. There's not that much tolerance there. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes you have a bit of water in it. Some don't do it. You should dry your portafilters. And then I have the 0 setting point here. That would have been my next question. Exactly. 0 setting is a very exciting matter. In the event that you open the grinder and clean it, yes. I have to explain to the grinder again where my 0 point is in the grind adjustment, even if the grinder is new and has ground itself in. Exactly, so that you reset the grinding point to the 0 point. Yes. I can do that using this function. That means I go into manual mode while grinding. Yeah, so fine that the grinding discs rub against each other. The classic way, by listening, exactly. Exactly, by listening. And then you can use the electronic reset to say, this is now your new 0 point.
Though I always wonder, is that really necessary?
It is, of course, quite helpful for reproducibility. If I buy a coffee regularly, then I naturally tend to know, almost automatically, that the grind level should be set around 30 to 40. Over time, I've always found myself in that range. For this type of coffee, then that's naturally a helpful aspect that I say I can always set the 0 point here.
But theoretically, I settle in there. Well, it's bad what I'm saying, but theoretically, I settle in there too. I recently recalibrated one, and it was at least, I think, almost 60 microns after that one time. Quite a lot.
That is definitely the case. So I also say again and again, to be able to realistically evaluate a grinder is after 2 or 3 kilos of coffee. We're done with the menu navigation for now.
Oh, great.
So there too, we made sure to keep it as lean as possible. We don't really need more than that.
But we haven't set how many grams we wanted yet, have we? No, we haven't.
Exactly. We can do that now here via the home display. We can move through the different portions here at the top using the arrow keys.
Exactly. We see the portafilters at the top now, so to speak.
Exactly. The double, the single, or here the triple then.
This portafilter detection, can I also turn it off here?
You can turn that off too. Exactly. It's indicated here on the side by this little portafilter on the display. Yes, okay. And if I keep my finger pressed on it, then the little X appears up here and tells me the portafilter detection is now off. That means it doesn't start the grinding process automatically, but I can choose which portion I want to grind into the portafilter.
And then I have to actively tell it, please grind now.
Right?
I probably do that via this.
No, you do that up here via the button. It's complaining now, of course, because we haven't hooked in a portafilter. Down here via this little button, I can grind manually. Here I can really say, grind me a small portion into my hand now, and then I have the portion.
For example, if I want to adjust the grind level significantly, i.e. make it finer. When setting it coarser, it's no problem, but when setting it finer, you should actually always grind out a bit while adjusting.
Right, that definitely makes sense, so that the grinding discs don't jam or the coffee isn't crushed between the grinding discs.
We have our portafilter programmed in.
Exactly, we turn the whole thing back on the same way. It also confirms that for me with a little check mark, and now the grinder is finally ready. We can take another look now. We've set 18.7 grams for the double portafilter. I can adjust the whole thing by simply pressing on the weight. I get into this display and can now say minus or plus here, and can accordingly change the weight there as well. Very simple. As I said, we tried to make it as simple as possible, but also as intuitive as possible.
Yes, I don't really need more than that. Well, yeah, I mean, there's always maybe some kind of assistance or something like that. Maybe that could be done with a target weight that I want to have in my cup. With the grind size, so that it might support me there, is something like that planned, or theoretically it should be possible?
Well, I always say we're at the base level here. This is our first grind by weight grinder. There are obviously many possibilities set for the future here. We'll see what the future brings.
Okay, sure.
I think, honestly, this really isn't the end of the line, not just yet. But I think it's a solid start, and I personally am also of the opinion, sometimes less really is more.
Yes, it can be confusing. Absolutely. We actually just made a film about it regarding the question of what influences the weight in the cup, so to speak, volumetrics, and what is influenced by the extraction time. So in that sense, that's always a point. That's the point I criticized with Mahlkönig. They still haven't improved it, unfortunately, even though they told me they wanted to include it because they always control it via the gram count in the result, which I don't think is right, although it works. No question about it. Okay, so we can still look forward to that. Maybe something will happen one day. Before we make one now, one more question regarding the point of cleaning.
Yes.
How complicated or easy is it in your experience to actually clean the grinder?
Well, cleaning the grinder, if I really want to get to the grinding burrs myself, I have to remove these 4 screws and then I can get to the grinding chamber.
We haven't done that yet. We will, of course, do that in our test. Then I take off the lid along with the upper grinding burr.
Exactly, right.
Okay.
Exactly. You should do it regularly.
Well, I'm also quite relaxed about it, to be honest. It depends a bit on the type of bean, I'd say, because the question naturally always comes up in our courses. How often should I clean it? Because a part of our courses is, of course, cleaning the machines. You should really definitely do that very often, let's put it that way. But with the grinders, I personally don't have that much stress. As I said, in my opinion, it also depends a bit on which type of bean I'm using.
Definitely. The oilier the bean is, the more fats and oils you have.
Then you should definitely do it more often. But if I have really fruity, light roasts now, I have hardly any oils, hardly any fats that come out of the bean on their own.
And besides, let's say, cleaning with a brush directly on the burr, there is, of course, always the possibility of using special grinder cleaners, which I think are also sufficient for everyday use between the kilos. What we also have, an important point, is, of course, the adjustment of the portafilter clip or the fork. We have a quick adjustment here. That means by turning, I can adjust the portafilters here accordingly.
So nice and simple. But that means additionally, depending on the situation, I can also adjust this here.
Exactly.
If I have larger funnels now, for example, or something like that, what would happen?
Interestingly, yes, it is actually not even a funnel, but rather it is about the drop position into the portafilters. By lowering this whole slide, I am able to get to a slightly different position within the portafilter.
Oh, that means I don't have any down here.
Exactly, the spout is fixed. I can remove the spout for cleaning.
So just pull it out, so to speak.
There's a small clip here, that's how it locks. Then I can remove this whole discharge spout for cleaning and can then also clean it accordingly.
Static charges, I think. I'm assuming we don't have much of that.
No, we don't have much of that. There.
Okay, I see a tiny bit of coffee grounds that came out here. How big do you estimate the dead space to be? Or have you measured it?
We estimate the dead space to be about 3 grams for a grind-on-demand grinder. So a grinder that's ultimately ready for use at any time, that's acceptable.
Nice. Yeah, then let's make a coffee.
Yes, with pleasure.
Then I'll take a closer look at this here too. I'll give you this. I hope that it now, we have to dry it again.
Exactly, I'll dry it off. There.
And then now I don't know if we've set it correctly again.
Oh, we should see that in a moment.
That looks very nice. The grounds look very fluffy, I must say, but it doesn't scatter. That's great, of course. So we really have, I'll show it with this camera here, very nice grounds. Nicely distributed, looks very nice and even. Super. But we have no scattering. We just got this little bit out here by pulling out the spout, but otherwise nothing happened. I'm just going to do some automated tamping here, which means I'm letting the machine press down the coffee grounds for me instead of doing it by hand. So once that's done, let's go ahead and make a coffee.
Yes, with pleasure.
This is our new variety, the coffee we've just introduced, our very own roast. I like to have it for 25 seconds.
Let's go ahead and give it a try.
Now we haven't weighed the cups. We'll have to estimate. We'll make another one. It's just the excitement.
That's looking very good already.
Looking good so far. It's a bit much. I think we need to grind it a bit finer.
Yes.
I know these cups quite well.
Yes.
Clearly. We have... It really is just a bit too much. It does look very nice, honestly, but, well, we have 100% Robusta. That means we get a lot of crema. Yes, indeed, that looks good. As you can see, we really have a lot of crema here. Still, I would grind it a bit finer.
Yes, we can certainly do that.
Do you want to try it?
I'd love to. Yes?
Yes, that is right.
That is really very good, actually.
No, well,
For a first attempt.
for the first shot, it's wonderful. I might reduce it a bit so that we have a little less. Exactly, then we'll have a bit more body feel. We were at 25 seconds just now. I think it's nicely balanced. 92 degrees works quite well for it too. Let's do that again then.
Exactly. Let's go a bit finer again.
Right, you go finer. I'll just toss this out. I'll dispose of our coffee grounds.
I'm going to go quite radical. 5 steps finer. And we'll use a scale this time as well. Everything's a bit makeshift here today. I hope that's okay with you guys. It's not a test video either, but really just a first impression, meaning it's really the first time I see it in action. I saw it once at the trade fair, but didn't try it out.
That's really good. There's nothing here. It doesn't scatter at all.
Yes, it was actually part of the development process for this grinder.
Just a moment, don't turn it off.
Yes. Accordingly, a point for us that we took into account.
Yes, a nice Achaia scale. Now everyone will wonder, what does it look like? We'll introduce it to you soon. It's not from Achaia, it is from Achaia, but we have an add-on. So, one shouldn't do that either. Super. 38 grams, which is just about 39 grams. Yeah, we have a flow rate of 1.3. That means the measurement is almost 39 grams and the flow is steady at 1.3. Yeah. Very nice, right? Oh, look at that tiger pattern. Looks fantastic. Yeah, very nice. Let's give it a try then, shall we? Yes, I'd love to. Should I do yours too? Yes, please. So, it does taste different. Yeah. Delicious. A bit more body because we have a bit less weight. I might have even reduced it a bit more, perhaps. That means I'd maybe grind the next one a bit finer to get even more body. Exactly, I like to drink it here. Well, I like to get 22 grams out at most. Or you could actually increase the dose from 18.7 to 19 grams. Exactly. Just to get a bit more out of it. Maybe just pause for a second. But very good coffee. Is there anything else to tell? Yes, well, one function I forgot is what I'd call a lifesaver function. I'll take the portafilter. I want to grind some coffee again, but this time a portion where we don't waste quite as much. Yeah. The machine has this feature which I always find quite exciting. You know how it is. You grind some coffee and you see some spilled out for whatever reason, but you don't want to throw away the whole portion. Yep. And then, well, I have the option here. I'll lock in the portafilter. In this case, I'll just grind 5 grams. As an example, you can see on the display it's ready. But if I say now I'd like just a tiny bit more coffee grounds in there, maybe to fine-tune the result, I can press this little button up here, and then it grinds another 0.5 grams. That's pre-programmed. It's pre-programmed, exactly. It's about half a gram, which are then ground additionally. Just so you can maybe gradually work your way towards achieving the result or reaching the target in the basket. Yeah, in principle, that's honestly not bad at all, I think. That reminds me of one thing I think is quite good, which is, I'll also say in a moment, why only in principle. There are grinders that grind and measure during, like this one here, they grind during, measure during the grinding. Yes. And if they haven't reached it yet, they stop briefly and grind. Grind some more on top, yeah. The particle distribution at the start is different than the particle distribution while it's running. Exactly. That means I'm getting something a bit different out. That changes things. Definitely. It sounds crazy. So if you haven't geeked out as much as we have here, then it might sound a bit silly at first. But it really is like that. Yes. When you do the particle distribution measurement, the initial particles are different from those during the run. That's why I find I'm noticing it now. Thank goodness it doesn't do that. No, so we really pull the process through in one go. It should be said that this actually results in it making a slight movement right at the start, mainly because it has a 1400 watt motor. That's just the rotational speed. Yeah, okay. But we also didn't really want this kind of regrinding process. We wanted to grind specifically in just one single pass in order to really achieve a consistent result. Nice. Great. So in that sense, I might only try that for a test. Exactly. Or if you prefer, you can also choose to save it at the very end. Yes, good, exactly, yes. But a function that I haven't seen before on grinders, I actually think that's quite good. Yes, very nice. So in that respect, I'm very excited. Thank you very much for now. Always a pleasure. We're going to keep it here now. Exactly. We'll test it now. That will take a little while, of course. So it won't be right away within the next 2 weeks. We won't manage to make a film about it because we want to test it a bit longer and take a look and take it apart thoroughly, as always. Measure the dead space again, please, to see if it works out or not. Go through the individual functions again, but that just takes a bit of time. That means the test film about the grinder will probably not be out until, I don't know, probably August. Or something like that, or run in August or September, but until then you've already gotten a first impression. In terms of taste, I know the coffee, it's ours after all, I have to say it already works. It's very delicious. That's good to hear. We will also try that in comparison with other grinders, of course. The classic housing, right? So are all ECM housings this size, or is this a larger one? It's become larger than the S64. It is indeed a bit more voluminous. Probably because of the larger motor, right?
Exactly. Yes, although it's partly due to the fact that the motor is actually suspended here, right? So there's a bit more insulation in that sense, and we have a completely new technology. So you can actually unscrew it here. You can remove the side completely.
Ah, you have side panels. Ah, okay.
Exactly. That also serves for, let's say, customization.
Yes.
So you can also take this grinder apart relatively easily and paint it if you'd like it in...
Which ones are available right now? This is chrome plated or polished?
Exactly. So the grinder will be available in 2 different versions. One's in this polished version and in a black version.
Ah, nice.
We've started with the polished version now, but we'll also come out with the black one in the coming weeks.
Matte black, glossy black?
It's a classic matte black color, powder coated. Exactly, that coarse structure that we ultimately see on the Aesthetica as well.
Okay.
I have to say the grinder is coming out relatively simultaneously with the Aesthetica.
It's a nice combination. Of course, Aesthetica plus this grinder, one has to say, yes.
Exactly, yes.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you very much again.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, and if you liked that, we would of course be happy about a thumbs up, as always, logically. And of course, we're even more happy about a subscription from you. If you subscribe to our channel, because that helps us enormously so that we don't just get great guests like Sascha here, but so that we become a bit more visible and can buy even more devices, which we then test for you. In that sense, thank you very much. Until next time.
Bye.